I really agree. I spent I did spend 40 years in the water business in California, and I can tell you that there is a real fraternity between professional engineers. And when they talk to each other, there's a pure relationship. And when someone isn't an engineer, and I'm not an engineer, but I had all the courses too. But the fact is, they would say, "Oh, are you a PE?"
Yeah.
And in high-level meetings with in California with a state engineer and others, there is a big thing there, and there is a potential, I think, if you get the right person, that person can do a lot of state lobbying for you, and it may be able to save you a little bit of money, but they have to have the professional status to be able to do that. Backing up what you say, Barbara.
I'm going to be a little bit of a killjoy, Mr. Brown. Not that he's not qualified, but one thing that struck me is he didn't have any operational experience. He didn't have any operational experience with the water board. And sometimes doing the engineering is one thing. When you get out of the field, the engineering doesn't work, and there's a little different dynamic in the operations of something than the design of something. Not that he potentially couldn't learn those, but that was the one weak point, is of the three, he didn't have any operational experience.
But he does have, and not to correct Barbara, but he is not currently employed with the state.
No, he's not.
And he had
Thank you for that.
Yeah, he had management.
He was.
He was.
Employed away by a private party. And he has worked
Yes.
he has worked in the private industry, which to me was a plus. He's had both public and private.
Right. Thank you for that correction. Yeah.
Kaden, you want to weigh in?
I just, agree with everything that everybody said. I think the interviews went well. I think the candidates were well qualified and well prepared for their interviews. I think, we have a couple good candidates at the top of the list, and I think our next step is to get some background checks and make sure that that what they say they've done, they've done. I think we can do some checking, just make it,
So are you saying background checks on the top two is what you're recommending?
that's what I recommend, is background checks on the top two.
Okay.
Thank you, Kenneth.
I had the pleasure of serving with Mr. Young and with Wes on the board, and I'd also like to sing their praises. They did a great job. I thought our board ran well. Mr. Young's experience was invaluable through the whole process. He's a wealth of knowledge, and he needs to hang out down here a little bit more and share that with us. When I came in tonight, I kind of thought, well, there's three that are pretty much grouped together. But after the conversation, I think I'm willing to narrow it to two. And a lot of what Mr. Young said, I parallel, and after our interviews and after some reflection, I think that he's absolutely spot on with the two, and I'm going to bow to his opinion and go along with that. So.
Well, I agree with everything that's been said. I thought all the candidates were great. I'm kind of leaning towards Mr. Brown because of the engineering skills, and I know Aaron has got his plate full, and I think an engineer would be a real plus for him. They go hand in hand, and that's kind of the way. So I'm kind of in the same position as Kenyon. I'm in favor of, let's take the two top ones and go proceed with the background check, and then we'll make a decision from those two.
Can we get staff's input a little bit on how they see this going, and I'm sure might have some questions on how to proceed or whatever, but I mean, what do you think, Aaron?
Yeah, with the background checks, go with two, and then staff, we can follow up with the reference checks, and specifically, like Mary stated, to do reference checks on the prior employment.
Only, yeah.
That's where the kind of rubber hits the road on what people's done. And
Not the last job, but the last 2 jobs. the last
Correct.
3 jobs, yeah.
the district has a form that we've used in the past to actually send to prior employment to fill out. And then it's not verbally on the phone or something, it's in writing, and you have that. So that would be a recommendation to.
So, let's see, time-wise, we're probably the last meeting in July, maybe we'll be making a decision.
We could, the background checks should be able to be back by the first meeting in July. Now, the reference checks, it's just kind of hit and miss how fast these employers are willing to provide that information to us, if they're willing to provide it to us as well. So, I mean, there is a chance the first meeting in July, which I think is July 2nd, it could be available then and it could be brought then. So but if not, then yes, the second meeting in July. So you tailor it in such a way that whenever the data becomes available to bring to you, then we can do it that way. So we could have earlier, or if needs be later.
Mary, you have any of your?
Well, we need to ask Wes. Wes, should we got any input here?
I guess I'll just say that I enjoyed the process. I appreciated the diversity of knowledge with regard to the financial side of things. I don't have the same ability to assess somebody's water side, but the financial side I feel comfortable with. And I think based on the conversations that we had, I'll concur with what everybody else has said, that the 2 that you're talking about, I believe either of the 2 would do a fine job as general manager of the water district. So I don't believe that you're going astray by doing what you're doing, and I think the key is to make sure, as you're talking about, confirm that everything that we've been presented is accurate. With that in place, then the board should be in a position to be able to make a final decision. So,
Can we go ahead and name those 2 people at this meeting?
Absolutely.